Hey, this is X-Cult Baby with another Atheist Bible reading, and today I'm going to be looking at the story of Achan. This story takes place immediately after the events of the story in the last video that I did, so if you haven't seen that one, go watch it. The context will be somewhat important. And don't worry, I'll wait for a little bit. Okay, so I'm sure you've all seen the video at this point, right? Now that everybody's caught up, let's get into the story. So, when we left off in the last story, the Israelites were massacring the city of Jericho. And one of the men in the Israelite army is a man named Achan. And while he is in the city, Achan takes for himself some gold, some silver, and a nice official garment that he finds. If you'll recall, in the last video, the Israelites were instructed explicitly not to plunder the city, just to kill all the people and the animals, and to burn everything else to the ground. Don't take anything except for money, which goes to God's treasury, is what they were instructed to do. Now, the Bible doesn't say that Achan broke a rule or Achan was disobedient. It says that the Israelites were disobedient, which just seems totally unfair. One guy breaks a rule and everybody's guilty. So after they're done destroying Jericho, they set their sights on AI. That's right, artificial intelligence. No, I'm just kidding. It's presumably a place. AI is probably another city. So Josh sends a couple of spies, and they're like, AI isn't that big. We can probably take it with like 3,000 men. No biggie. So Josh sends 3,000 men to take the city of Ai, but when they get there, they get scared and they flee. And actually, 36 of the men are killed on their way back. And everybody in Israel is just devastated and grieving because, as far as they know, God is supposed to be fighting for them. So, why are they losing? This is awful. This is pretty much a tragedy. And Josh is like, God, why did you bring us all the way here just to get destroyed? Come on, man. And God's like, quit crying. Somebody took my stuff, so now we can't be friends anymore. I'm mad. You can all die for all I care. And then God says that he has to burn the person who has stolen his stuff. I'm pretty tired. I don't know if you can tell. I'm pretty tired. But this story fires me up in some kind of way. Why would anybody look at this story and think that God is the exemplar of justice? Perfect justice. The 36 guys who died didn't have shit to do with Achan and what he did. Had nothing to do with it. They didn't know about it. They couldn't have stopped him. Nothing to do with them. But they have to pay the price. And at the very least, God could have, warned Josh and been like, hey, if you guys go up to AI, you won't win because you don't have my blessing right now because somebody did something that I don't like. Nope, he just let them figure it out the hard way. I think when people say, I just can't even comprehend God's perfect love or his perfect wisdom or his perfect justice, what they really mean is, I would never do some of the shit that God supposedly does in the Bible, but somebody told me that he's perfect, so I just have to assume that his ways are higher than mine, and I just don't get it. Even though that is transparently false. With any level of objectivity, looking at the story, you can see that it's wrong. If the Bible was like a story about a very powerful alien who is meddling in human affairs, rather than a supposedly perfect God, I think that people would look at it a lot more differently. They wouldn't be thinking, oh, well, the alien just has a better understanding of things than I do. No, you would just think he's an asshole, because he is. He does a lot of asshole things. The epitome, if the epitome of perfection is something that you look at and go, that doesn't make sense to me, but since somebody told me that that's what perfect is, then I'm just going to say I don't get it, but it is perfect. So anyways, Josh rounds up all of the Israelites, and then he singles out Achan and calls him out and tells him to confess in front of everybody what he's done. And Achan tells him, I took the gold and the silver and the garment and I buried them in my tent. So, Josh rounds up not only the stolen items, but his tent, his animals, his family, and obviously Achan himself, and he has them all stoned to death, and then their bodies are burned. And then the Israelites go up against Ai again and they win! Woohoo! Yay! When this story was told to me as a child, I was taught that the reason that Achan's family was killed too was because they were accomplices and they knew what he had done but didn't say anything. But there is nothing in this passage that indicates that they knew anything about it. That's an assumption that is unfounded. And in the version that I heard, they definitely never mentioned the animals dying too. Can you imagine telling a child that if they steal something, that not only is the child worthy of death, but so is the child's family and their pets? Another way that this story was told to me, which might even be worse, is justification for Jehovah's Witnesses shunning people. Because if there's somebody in the congregation who is secretly engaged in sin or something like that, then everybody in the congregation will suffer for it spiritually, supposedly. And that's why they need to get rid of that person and shun them. As terrible as that is, I guess it's a step above stoning them to death. But I gotta say, as somebody who is being shunned by their family, I can't imagine it's a whole lot better. This is not a well-known Bible story, but if people actually read their Bible instead of paying somebody else to read the Bible to them, well, paying someone else to read it and tell them what they thought it said, really, then there would be a lot fewer Christians, I think. And when you stop looking at this as a holy book and just read it as a book and just look at it objectively without already presupposing that it is from God and that it's perfect, you'll see very quickly that it's not at all. I read the Bible myself when I was a Christian. I read through the book of Genesis in like a matter of weeks. But I already had an idea in my mind of what I was going to find in the Bible and what it said and what kind of lessons I was supposed to get from it, so I didn't see those things. I read it with a specific purpose of trying to get something good out of it. Good things that I had already been told were in it. That, looking at it objectively, are not there. For the most part, they're not there. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment, and most importantly, share this video with others. I make new videos every Thursday, and next week I am going to be doing a very special episode. It is going to be on the story of Adam and Eve. So if you want to be notified for that, subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you will get notified when that premieres. Links to my Twitter, Tumblr, and Reddit are in the description, so if you want to follow me on any other social media platforms, the links are there. My email is also there if you want to contact me. I am XCultBaby, reminding you to go free yourself. Thank you for watching.